How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Data here, and welcome to our annual NHL postseason simulation. This year here on NHL 23 to simulate through the 2023 NHL playoffs. The Avalanche just beat the Predators. The matchups have been set, and we see after an incredible 2022-23 regular season, we are in store for a great and exciting 2023 playoffs. In the Western Conference, we have the defending champion Avalanche taking on the Seattle Kraken, the Stars facing the Wild, Vegas taking on Winnipeg, and the Oilers facing the Kings in a rematch from last season. In the Eastern Conference, it's the record-setting, record-breaking Boston Bruins facing the Florida Panthers, Leafs and Lightning facing off once again. We'll see if Toronto can make it out of the first round. The Hurricanes taking on the Islanders, and in a great matchup that has been a long time coming, the Devils facing the Rangers. In last year's simulation, I believe it was Toronto and Edmonton in the 2022 Stanley Cup Final, and the Oilers reverse swept the Maple Leafs for the Stanley Cup. It was some incredible stuff. As always, it is the EA rosters that we are using. They're not perfect. Unfortunately, I was halfway through the simulation and I had to scrap it because I realized that using the March 31st rosters, the most recent ones from EA, players like Kaprizov were still injured. So I went through each team. I tried to make sure that each team was as realistic as possible. Guys like Mark Stone, Marcus Johansson, you don't know exactly when they're coming back, so I did my best to try and gauge who would be in the lineup and who wouldn't be for the postseason. On top of that, players who just aren't in the game yet, like Matthew Knees or Luke Hughes, are not here. I was considering creating them, but I want this to be a full EA simulation. This is what EA thinks the postseason will have in store according to their rosters and their games. So as always, you can go ahead and use the chapters, the timestamps down below to skip ahead. We'll have each round and we'll review the points of each round as we go as well. We'll slow sim any game 7s along the way, but aside from that, we're going to go through it rather quickly as there are a lot of games to get through. The Colorado Avalanche, who end this season with 51 wins after at some point some people were considering would they even make the postseason. They had a strong second half. Landeskog not in the lineup, but we'll see how they do here against a strong Seattle Kraken squad. So game 1 of the first round of the 2023 NHL postseason, and of course I clicked on simulate and not simulate to next game. Rookie mistake. The game results in a overtime 3-2 victory for the Kraken. It's Eli Tolvanen scoring on the power play in overtime to give the Kraken a 1-0 series lead, perhaps a bit of a surprise. Now Vegas and Winnipeg in round number 1. The Jets, the underdogs, winning the first game. So both the Kraken and the Jets, the underdogs, winning the first games of their respective series. Now the Bruins facing off against the Panthers in Boston. We'll see if the favorite can win this one, and yes, they do. The Bruins winning game 1. The Islanders and the Hurricanes in game 1 of their series. The Islanders winning that game. Wild and Stars in game 1 back in the West. Dallas wins it. Edmonton and LA. Connor McDavid winning the Art Ross, the Rocket Richard. Can he carry his team? I think the Oilers are going to have a deep run. I'm not going to give you many of my thoughts throughout this episode, throughout this video in game 1. The Kings win. I'm not going to give you many of my thoughts because my own breakdown of the postseason will be a separate upload later on this weekend in a separate datacast where I go through the entire postseason and give my thoughts. I will keep them out of this episode to try to keep this video as short as possible. Lightning and Maple Leafs. Tampa Bay taking game 1 in Toronto. Despite the Maple Leafs winning their 50 games, it was still a match made in heaven between these two teams. Rangers and Devils in round 1. This first game going to the Rangers. So the underdogs having a strong show in game 1. Let's keep on simulating game number 2 now between the Kraken and the Avalanche. The Kraken have a 2-0 series lead. My goodness. Can the Jets also take a 2-0 series lead as the underdogs? Yes, they can. The underdogs up 2-0 through those first 2 series. Can the Panthers tie this series up, or will the Bruins take a 2-0 series lead? Yes, the Panthers have life, and that series is tied at 1. Islanders and Hurricanes. The Islanders taking the 2-0 series lead, so 3 series are at 2-0, and all 3 of them are going to the underdogs at the moment. I could see the Hurricanes having some trouble against Ilya Sorokin and the New York Islanders. I could see it, especially with Matthew Barzal coming back in the lineup. You never know. Mini and Dallas, here we are in game 2, and the Stars take it. Now they have a 2-0 series lead. Kings and Oilers. The Kings with a 2-0 series lead. A few surprises here so far. Lightning and Maple Leafs in Game 2. This series is tied at 1. Rangers and Devils. The Rangers with a 2-0 series lead. Philippe Danault with the most points through 2 games with 5. All right, Game 3, the Avalanche need to get back in this series. They lose both games at home as defending champions in Seattle for Game number 3, and the Avalanche have life. It's a 2-1 series. Exact same story to Vegas. Now in Winnipeg, down 2-0. Vegas drops Game 3, and the Jets have a 3-0 lead on the Golden Knights now. My goodness. The Bruins, with their 65 wins, they lost to the Panthers. It's a 1-1 series, best of 5 over there. Game 3 goes to the Bruins. They have the lead. Islanders looking to take a stranglehold on this series, and they do. It's 3-0 Islanders. My goodness. Hurricanes struggling against New York here. I wonder what Sorokin's numbers are like. We'll check them out soon. Dallas and Mini here in Game 3. And the Wild have life as they get their first win of the series. Edmonton and LA. The Oilers want to do the same thing and get a win here in Game 3. And they do exactly that. 2-1 series there, and now we have the Lightning and the Maple Leafs in a best of 5. Game 3 goes to the Maple Leafs. 6 assists in 3 games for Mitch Marner, as now the Leafs lead that series 2-1. Rangers and Devils. The Devils need to get into it, and they do. So the Islanders up 3 games over the Hurricanes. So the Islanders up 3-0 over the Hurricanes, and the Jets up 3-0 over the Vegas Golden Knights. 2 underdogs on the brink of sweeping the favorite. Every other series is 2-1. Let's see if the Avalanche can tie this series up and make it a best of 3 in Seattle for Game 4. They do exactly that. After dropping both games at home, they win both games on the road. 9 points in 4 games from Nathan MacKinnon. Can the Jets close it out at home against Vegas and complete the sweep? Yes, they do! The Vegas Golden Knights are the first team to be eliminated as they are swept out of round number 1. How do you like that? Back in the East, the Bruins win Game 4, now have a 3-1 series lead. Can the Islanders also complete the sweep over the Hurricanes? No, the Hurricanes fight back, and they're going to push it to 5. Dallas and Mini now. Can the Wild tie it up? No, they cannot, and the Stars are 1 win away. Can the Kings also go 1 win away? No, they cannot, as the Oilers tie it 2 games apiece, and we will make it a best of 3. Can the Lightning tie it at 2 games apiece now, or will the Leafs go 1 game away? And yes, they will. The Maple Leafs now 1 game away. Devils and Rangers, excuse me. The Devils cannot get back in it. So going into this next round of games, only the Avalanche, Kraken, and Oilers Kings series are tied at 2. Everything else is 3-1. We could see some more winners here. Kraken and Avalanche, who will have the advantage heading into Game 6? It will be the Kraken as they win 2, drop 2, and then win in Colorado once more. They are on the brink of beating the champions. Now, Bruins with a chance to move on to round number 2. No, the Panthers fight back and force a Game 6. Can the Islanders finish it off after not being able to finish the sweep? Yes, they can. It's a 5-game series for the Islanders. How about that? The 52-win Carolina Hurricanes eliminated by the wild card squad. The Islanders taking them down in 5, excuse me. Now the Stars with the same chance to take down the Wild here in Game 5, and they do! It was a very tight matchup. 47-win Stars versus the 46-win Wild, but only a 5-game series. The Wild, you would have thought they would have done a bit more. They lose in 5 to Dallas. How do you like that? Edmonton and LA, which team will have the advantage heading into Game 6? It will be the Oilers from down 2-0 to up 3-2, fighting back. All right. Now, can the Toronto Maple Leafs win their first playoff matchup in almost 2 decades? Let's see if they can make it out of the first round in Game 5 here against the Lightning, or does Tampa have something to say about it? They do, as they force Game 6. The Maple Leafs, they've been there before, a bit shaky. They couldn't close it out. Let's see what happens in that series. Now, can the Rangers close it out over the Devils here in Game 5? No. Game 6 forced by the Devils. Most teams forcing Game 6 here. All right, here we go. Back to the Kraken and the Avalanche. Can Seattle go through in Game 6 and eliminate the defending champs without their captain, or will we see Game 7? Here we go in Game 6. The Avalanche fight back, and we will see Game 7. 16 points in 6 games from Nathan MacKinnon, carrying his team. Can the Bruins make their way through to the second round, or will they also have a bit of a scare in Game 7? Game 6, and the Bruins are through in 6, eliminating the wild card Panthers. The Edmonton Oilers were down 2-0. Now they're up 3-2. Can they win 4 consecutive games and punch their ticket? Yes, they can. The Kings win 2 and then lose 4 in a row. The Oilers are through. Now, the Leafs and the Lightning. The Leafs couldn't close it out against Tampa. Will the Lightning be able to force Game 7, or can Toronto just finally get their way through to round number 2? Here in Game 6, the Lightning forced Game 7. The Leafs could not close it out. Woo, that's going to be a crazy one. We'll go see any in-game simulations for Game 7s. Devils and Rangers. Are the Rangers going to take it in 6, or will New Jersey force a 7th game? The Rangers take it in 6. All right, so the Rangers are through. Now, the Kraken and the Avalanche. Game 7 here in Colorado. The Avalanche, who won the Western Conference, correct? No, the Vegas won the Western. They won their division, and the Kraken had 100 points as a wild card team. Tanev opens up the scoring. Let's just get through the first period. First period, 4-3. Wow, high-scoring period. Tanev, Soucy to make it 2-0. Makar 2-1. Gourde 3-1 Kraken. Within Comfort power play. O'Connor shorthanded. Eberle power play. 4-3 Kraken after 20. Second period. 5-4. Comfort and Newhook give the Avalanche the lead. 1-goal lead for the Avs. They were down 2-0 in this series. Power play Kraken. That's killed off by the Avalanche. The shots are 30-18 for Seattle, but the Avalanche lead by 1 halfway through this third and final period of this Game 7 in round number 1. It's been a scare, but they're up by 1 and they're hanging on tight. The Kraken are throwing everything they have. They had a lot of early offense, but not enough in the end, and the Avalanche, despite being outshot 37-23, hang on to win that game 5-4. A goal and assist from Newhook, 2 goals from JT Compher, and the Avalanche win Game 7. They're through. Now, here's another huge Game 7 that we've been waiting for. The Lightning and the Maple Leafs. Here we go. Game 7. The Leafs were up 3-1. The Lightning forced Game 7. Let's see if the Leafs can finally close it out, or will they choke a 2-game lead and from being up 2 games. And you know what I'm talking about. They're up 2 games. They just needed 1 more win. First period, Lightning lead after 20. Tanner Jeannot scoring at even strength. Second period, 3-2 Leafs. They fight back. O'Reilly on the power play. Marner even strength. Nick Paul ties the game back up, but then John Tavares gives the Maple Leafs the 1-goal lead. Shots are 22-19 for Toronto. They're up by 1, headed into the third and final period of this Game 7. Power play Toronto early, killed off by the Lightning. The shots are rather even, but Mitch Marner puts his team now ahead by 2. Vasilevsky allows, 4 on 26 shots? But hold on, Corey Perry fights back. The Lightning are down by 1 with 6 minutes to go. Shots are pretty close. Final 3 minutes. Can the Leafs hang on tight with the lead? No! It's Tanner Jeannot scoring with 31 seconds left, and we're headed to overtime. You can't write this. Oh my goodness. 4-4, headed to overtime. Can the Leafs close it out one last time in overtime, choking the 2-goal lead, choking the 2-game lead? Will the Leafs be able to end it in overtime, or will Tampa march back again and eliminate Toronto in Game 7? Here we go in overtime. We're going to let it run, and it's the Maple Leafs who finally make their way through, almost choking it. Alex Kerfoot scores in overtime to put Toronto through to round number 2 for the first time in, 19 years, is it? Something like that? Wow, incredible stuff. And there are your matchups for round number 2. Colorado facing Dallas, Edmonton facing Winnipeg in an all-Canadian matchup, Boston and Toronto original 6 matchup, and the New York teams Rangers versus Islanders in round number 2 in the Eastern Conference. Let's take a moment here to check out the points from each team. Not going to scroll through everybody in depth, just looking at who the leaders were. McAvoy 7 points in 6 games for the Bruins. Bergeron and Marchand were both point per game. Taylor Hall had 4 goals. Pasternak 4 points. Between the pipes, Allmark went 4-2-0 with a .933 save percentage and 1.84 goals against average to eliminate the Panthers. The Carolina Hurricanes, who fell in 5 games, yikes. 4 points from Martin Necas. No one else with more than 2. Aho, Drury, Burns, Stahl, Ghost, Slavin all with 2 points, and then a bunch with 1 or 0. Yikes. Freddie Anderson went 1-1-3. 3 of their 4 losses came in overtime. That's brutal. He still had a .933 save percentage and 2.39 goals against average. You hate to see it. Let's check out the Avalanche, who marched back to win in 7 games over the Kraken. 16 points in 7 games, goal per game for Nathan McKinnon. Nichushkin, 9 points. Rantanen, 8 points. So 3, that top line, point per game plus. Lehkonen, Makar, Gerard, Newhook, they're all adding in on the offense as well. And Georgiev went 4-2-1 with a .900 save percentage. Not the greatest numbers, but a great team in front of him. That's what happens in Colorado. It was Darcy Kemper, now it's Alex Georgiev. 3.33 goals against average for him through those 7 games. McKinnon carrying. Dallas, who won in 5 games. Wyatt Johnson, 6 points. Miro Heiskanen, 6 points. Sagan, point per game. Domi and Robertson, both with 4 points. A nice little story here for the Dallas Stars with a lot of great players. Ottinger goes 4-0-1 with a .934 save percentage. Wow, 2.2 goals against average as well. Dallas, they're going to be a strong team to face the Avalanche. Less offense, but they seem to have stronger defense. The Oilers, who win in 6 against the Kings, have 2 players. Of course, Draisaitl and McDavid, who have 7 points in 6 games. Hyman, point per game. Yamamoto, 3 goals and 5 points in 6 games. Nuge also with 5. It was Stuart Skinner, correct. Actually, Campbell actually came in for 1 game as well, and he has a twin, perfect. 4, nice glitch as always. 4-2-0, and 2 shutouts from Skinner. .917 save percentage, 2.23 goals against. Campbell came in and faced 22 shots, allowing 3 goals. Okay. All right, next on to the Florida Panthers, who lost in 6 games. They put up a bit of a fight here. Matthew Tkachuk had 3 goals and 4 points. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with 4 points in 6 games. Pretty good show. Another team where, is Sam Bennett coming back? You don't know, but they still have a strong team. Goaltending-wise, was it Bobrovsky? Yes, he went 2-4-0. Good numbers, .921 save percentage, 2.69 goals against, but they drop in 6. The LA Kings, who fall in 6 games as well. Iafallo had 7 points. Danault was point per game. Trevor Moore had 5. Fiala and Doughty with 4. The big guns didn't quite come through. No goals from Arvidsson. Only a goal from Velarde. Who was between the pipes for the Kings? It was, yes, Korpisalo. He went 2-4-0. Solid numbers as well. .918 save percentage, 2.69 goals against. Those are winnable numbers. The team didn't quite come through for him. The Minnesota Wild were eliminated in 5 games. Spurgeon and Kaprizov both had 4 points in 5 games. Zuccarello, Brodin, Nyquist, Sundqvist, Eriksson, Ek, all with 3. That's one mistake I made, actually. Of course, the one mistake I make. Eriksson, Ek likely wouldn't be back for that first round, but the Wild still got eliminated, so it's not like it changed too much anyways. So apologies for that, but it didn't change too much. If anything, it helped them, and it still didn't do anything. Marc-Andre Fleury, yikes, 1-4-0 with an .880 save percentage, 3.83 goals against average. When I did the first simulation, not to break any Wild fan hearts, without Kirill Kaprizov in the lineup, they did a lot better. I'll just say that. But with Kaprizov in the lineup, not as good of a luck of the draw, unfortunately. New Jersey Devils, who lost in 6 games. Bratt and Hughes both had 7 points in 6 games. Palat, Hischier both with 3. Dawson Mercer, 3 goals. It was Vanacek going 2-3-1. .892 save percentage, 3.46 goals against average. New York Islanders, who were through in 5 games. Barzal and Horvat with 6 points in 5 games. After that, drops off quite a bit. Matt Martin, 2 goals and 3 points. Nelson, 3 points. Lee, 3 points. Goaltending, Sorokin, let's see it. 4-1-0 with a shutout. .943 save percentage, as I thought, shutting down the Hurricanes. 1.59 goals against average. Sheesh. New York Rangers, who were through in 6 games, 9 points in 6 games for Adam Fox. Wow. Panarin with 8, Heidel with 8, Kane with 5 goals, 7 points. Kakko and Kreider both point per game. So a lot of point per game and point per game plus players. Lafreniere, 3 goals, 5 points. Great show of offense from the Rangers. Shesterkin went 4-2-0 with a shutout. .923 save percentage, 2.39 goals against. Halak came in for 14 shots and allowed 2 goals. All right, next we have the Kraken, who were eliminated in 7 games. Tanev and Schwartz both scored 6 points. Gord, Sprong, and Matty Beniers all with 5. Vince Dunn, 3 goals, 4 points from him. Goaltending for the Kraken, Martin Jones went 3-3-1. 880 save percentage, 3.91 goals against average as they lose to the Avalanche. The Lightning, who fall in 7, Stamkos 4 goals, 8 points. Kucherov in point with 6. Nick Paul with 4 goals, 5 points. Corey Perry, 3 goals, 4 points. Goaltending for Vasilevsky, he went 3-2-2. 894 save percentage, 3.42 goals against average. Probably one of the more unrealistic things of the simulation, unfortunately for the Lightning. Maple Leafs, who are through in 7. Marner had 9 points. O'Reilly had 8 points. Same for Nylander. Yarncrow and Bunting, both point per game. Matthews, 5 goals, 6 points. Tavares, 4 points. Okay, goaltending, Samsonov, 4-1-2, 907 save percentage, 3 goals against average. Vegas Golden Knights, who get swept, wow. Eichel, Theodore, and Smith with 2 points. Everyone else with 1 point or less through those 4 games. Yikes. Goaltending, it was Brassois who went 0-4-0, 900 save percentage, and 3.05 goals against average. Not the worst numbers in the world. Just no offense whatsoever from that team. And finally, the Winnipeg Jets, who swept the Vegas Golden Knights. 5 points in 4 games from Scheifele. Connor, Morgan Barron, wow, and Pierre-Luc Dubois. Sorry, just Barron and Connor point per game. Dubois with 3, Wheeler with a couple goals. Goaltending, Hellebuck went 4-0 with a shutout. 966 save percentage and 1 goal against average. So the best goalie of the first round has to be Connor Hellebuck. A bit longer to get through the stats through the first round. As more teams get eliminated, it'll be easier to get through it. But here we are now in round number 2. The Avalanche coming off of a 7-game series victory, facing the Stars, who made it through the Minnesota Wild in 5 games. Let's do it. Game 1 of round 2. It is the Dallas Stars who take it. Now, game 1 of the Jets and the Oilers. The Jets coming off of the sweep of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Oilers coming off of 4 consecutive wins of their own. After they dropped 2, then they won 4. Game 1 of this series, all-Canadian matchup, goes to the Oilers. Bruins and Maple Leafs now. The Maple Leafs just making it through in Game 7 overtime. The Bruins winning in 6 against the Panthers. Game 1 of this original 6 matchup goes to the Bruins, 1-0 through Game 1. New York versus New York. Islanders and Rangers making it through their series in 5 or 6 games. Not too much trouble for either team. They are rested. Game 1 of their series goes to the Rangers. All right, let's keep on simulating. The Stars are 5-1 now, and the Avalanche are 4-4. Game 2 of that series goes to the Avalanche to make it a best of 5 now. Here we go, Jets and Oilers. That series also tied up after the Jets lost their first game of this postseason. They answered back with a victory. Now over to the Eastern Conference as the Bruins win Game 2 as they win both games at home. They're up 2-0. Rangers up 1-0 over the Islanders. Second game at MSG and they win it. So in the West, the home games get split. In the East, the home team wins both. Now, a best of 5 for both series in the West. Avalanche, Stars. The Stars are up 2-1 through 3. Edmonton and Winnipeg. Oilers are up 2-1 through 3 over there. All right, here in the Eastern Conference, can either the Bruins or the Rangers go up 3-0? Bruins go up 3-0. The Leafs just had nothing left in the tank, I don't think. They're going to need a monumental effort to get to reverse sweep the 65-win Boston Bruins. Rangers, they'd love to go up 3-0, and they do. It's much tighter in the West right now. Avalanche and Stars, it's a 2-1 series for Dallas. They'd love to make it 3-1, but the Avalanche make it now a best of 5, tying the series up at 2. Can the Jets do the same thing? No, they cannot. The Oilers now on the brink of the Western Conference Final for the 2nd consecutive season. Now, the Bruins with the chance to close it out against the Maple Leafs. Can they do it? Yes, they do. After the Maple Leafs finally make it through the second round, they are promptly swept by the Bruins. Can the Rangers sweep their series as well? No, the Islanders have life. All right, it's a best of 5 here between the Stars and the Avalanche. Who's going to go up 3-2? It's the Avalanche fighting back, and they are on the brink of victory now themselves. Can the Oilers punch their ticket to the Western Conference Final? No, the Jets are still fighting back. 3-2 series there. Islanders and Rangers. The Rangers take it in 5. The Islanders fought back a little bit, but it will be the Bruins versus the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final. Let's see, will it be Colorado, Edmonton, or can Dallas or Winnipeg fight back? Game 6 here in the Western Conference, and the Avalanche are through after a bit of a scare. 24 points in 13 games from McKinnon. And now the Oilers, can they punch their ticket, or will we see 7? No. Okay, so no Game 7s in that round of the postseason. It's a rematch of the 2022 Eastern Conference Final that saw the Avalanche sweep the Oilers. Colorado versus Edmonton, and over in the East, it's the Bruins versus the Rangers. All right, let's take a quick moment to check out the stats after this second round. All right, so through 10 games, the Bruins are off to the Eastern Conference Final, and they have 2-point-per-game players, Taylor Hall and Brad Marchand. Bergeron, McAvoy also with 9 points, Pastrnak with 7. Allmark is 8-2 with a .935 save percentage and 1.9 goals against average. The Avalanche, through 13 games, have Nathan McKinnon, the Conn Smythe favorite right now. 10 goals and 24 points for him through 13 games. Nichushkin, point per game plus. Rantanen, point per game. Lehkonen, 11 points. Great offense from that first line. And Georgiev is 8-4-1 with a shutout. 908 save percentage, 2.86 goals against average. Pavel Francouz making 1 save on the 1 shot that he faced. The Dallas Stars, who got eliminated, they had their offense just wasn't there. Sagan, Robertson, Johnston, and Heiskanen all end with 8 points through 11 games. Pavelski, at the age of 38, puts up 6 points and 4 goals. Look at that. Ottinger did his job, 6-4-1 with a shutout, 906 save percentage, 3.05 goals against. Wedgwood came in and allowed 2 goals on 23 shots as well. So Dallas, they are done. The Oilers are through. McDavid, 13 points in 12 games. I'm surprised he simulates like this while McKinnon simulates so differently. Draisaitl and Hyman both with 11 points in 12 games. Nuge with 8. Goaltending, Skinner is 8-2, excuse me, with 3 of his 8 wins coming by means of a shutout. 929 save percentage, 2.06 goals against. Campbell has not been great when called upon. That was back in the first round. Now on to the Rangers. Through 11 games, they have 4 point-per-game players. Kane, Panarin, Heidel, and Fox, all point per game through 11. Lafreniere with 5 goals, second in team goal scoring, 9 points from him. Wow. Goaltending, Shesterkin is 8-2-1 with a shutout, 936 save percentage, and 1.99 goals against average. On to the Maple Leafs now, who got swept out of round number 2. Marner and Nylander end with 13 points in 11 games. Matthews, 7 goals and 10 points. O'Reilly, 10 points as well. Yarncrow with a good show. Goaltending, Samsonov ends 4-4-3, 896 save percentage, 3.26 goals against average. I could see that kind of being realistic, where maybe not in this fashion, but I could see the Leafs beating the Lightning and then the Bruins making quick order of them. And finally, we go and check out the Winnipeg Jets, who had a strong first round, but in the second round fell apart a little bit. 10 points in 10 games from Scheifele. Wheeler, Connor, Ehlers all with 7 points in 10 games. And Hellebuck, with his incredible numbers, unfortunately gets eliminated as a goaltender who went 6-2-2, 1 shutout, 937 save percentage, 1.87 goals against average. He did not have enough support, unfortunately. And I almost forgot about the Islanders, of course. What am I doing? The Islanders fell to the Rangers in that New York matchup. Horvat and Barzal end with 9 points in 10 games. And then after that, it drops off a bit. Lee, Palmieri, Nelson, Dobson, 4 points. Goaltending, Sorokin, very similar to Hellebuck. The 2 goaltenders who are having the best performances are both out in round number 2. Sorokin went 5-4-1 with 2 shutouts, 925 save percentage, and 2.06 goals against average. Wow. So it is all about the scoring, I guess. The goaltenders have been strong on these winning teams, but more reliant on the scoring as we now enter the Western and Eastern Conference Final matchups. Avalanche, Oilers, Bruins, Rangers. Here we go. Game 1 in the Western Conference. Rematch of last season. And the Avalanche come out early. They swept the Oilers last year. They're up 1-0 after game number 1. Bruins and Rangers. They are 8-2 and 8-3 respectively. Game 1 going the way of the Rangers after the Bruins swept the Maple Leafs. They now lose in game 1 of round 3. Back to the Oilers and the Avalanche. Up 1-0. Colorado are now up 2-0. They would love to repeat last season. Back to the East now. Can the Bruins tie this series up? Yes, they do. All right. Best of 5 over in the East. Meanwhile, the Oilers got to get back in it in the West. Can they do it? No! The Avalanche now up 3-0. We'll go see any elimination games now in the conference final matchups. Bruins and Rangers. All right, Bruins are up 2-1 after that scare in Game 1. They win back-to-back, and they're up 2-1. The Oilers now on the brink of getting swept out of the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back seasons. Let's see what happens here in Game 4 in Edmonton. First period, 1-1, Foegele, and McKinnon. Second period, 3-1, Rodriguez and Lehkonen. Shots are 24-14 through 40 minutes. Oh my goodness, McKinnon again. Power play goal. McKinnon again, another power play goal. That's a hat trick for him. Oh, wow, the Oilers. Hold on, Nuge. Hold on, down by 3 with 10 minutes to go. I don't know. For the second consecutive season, the Oilers are swept out of the Western Conference Final by the Colorado Avalanche, losing Game 4 by a score of 5-2, despite outshooting them 33-27. Hat-trick from McKinnon, 3 assists Makar, 31 saves Georgiev, and the Avalanche are through to the Stanley Cup Final in back-to-back years. Now, in the Eastern Conference, let's see what happens here. The Bruins up 2-1, make that 3-1, as we will now see a simulation between them in game number 5. A chance for the Bruins to close it out after losing 1. Can they pull the gentleman's sweep and end it with 4 in a row? First period, 2-1 Rangers after 20. Tarasenko and Heidel open it up. Clifton gives the Bruins some life. Second period, 3-1 Lafreniere on the power play. Shots tied at 19. Rangers up by 2 here in the third, looking to push it to 6 and bring it back to Madison Square Garden. Heidel makes it 4-1. That may be enough. Power play Bruins. That's killed off by the Rangers halfway through the third, and it's a 3-goal lead for New York. That's likely enough to do it, and we will head back to MSG for game number 6. Bergeron scores late, but they're still down by 2. Hold on, DeBrusk with 30 seconds left. No, wow, the Bruins almost have a crazy comeback. But Heidel's goal ends up being the game winner. Shots end 32-29 for Boston, but the Rangers win 4-3. Heidel with his 2 goals, including the game winner. And we will see game 6. Now back in New York at MSG. Can the Rangers push it to 7 back at TD Garden, or will the Bruins be able to win it away in New York? First period, 3-0 Bruins. Wow, they come out guns blazing. Taylor Hall in the power play, then Marchand and Pasternak. Second period, make it 4-1. Zacha short-handed, yikes. And Heidel scores 1. Rangers are down by 3 here in the third in front of their home fans. They're going to need some offense fast over here if they want to push it to 7. The Bruins are very close to ending it. They just need 1 goal of their own, and there it is. David Pastrnak makes it 5-1. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Stanley Cup Final, maybe not the surprise to many. I'm sure that this is the favorite of most brackets. The Bruins and the Avalanche. After the Bruins take down the Rangers in 6 games with a 5-1 victory. Marchand goal and 3 assists. Bergeron 4 assists. Allmark 30 saves. There you have it. Your Stanley Cup Final is set. The Avalanche and the Bruins will duke it out after a big sweep from the Avalanche and a 4-2 series win from the Bruins. Let's check out those stats after round number 3. Marchand and Bergeron played a huge part in that series against the Rangers, as Marchand now has 23 points in 16 games and Bergeron has 10 goals and 21 points through 16 games. The rest of the team pulling their weight very well. Allmark is 12-4-0 with a .934 save percentage and 1.94 goals against average. By the way, he is a 90 overall goaltender. Definitely the Vezina favorite after the 2022-23 regular season. Over to the Colorado Avalanche, who are also through to the Stanley Cup Final. Nathan McKinnon, 15 goals, 15 assists, and 30 points through 17 games. Ridiculous stuff from him. Nichushkin and Lehkonen both above point per game with 18 and 17. Comfer, Rantanen, and Makar all have 16 points through 17 games. Rodriguez 13, Byram 11 assists. Georgiev is 12-4-1 with a shutout, 909 save percentage, and 2.8 goals against average. I would say, according to the simulation, the Bruins have the edge. The 2 teams that got eliminated now, we see the Oilers, who got swept out. McDavid ends point per game, 16 in 16, 97 overall player, by the way. Draisaitl at 95 overall, 14 points in 16 games. Yamamoto 13, Nuge 12, same for Hyman. Kane only with 1 goal. Scrolling down here, Ekholm, who was a big piece at the trade deadline for the Oilers, only 4 points and a -4. And there is Brett Kulak down at the bottom there. Stuart Skinner ends up going 8-5-3 with 3 shutouts, 904 save percentage, and 2.88 goals against average. And finally, the other team gets swept out, the New York Rangers. Philip Heidel ended point per game. Wow, 17-17 for him. Lafreniere had 16. The kids putting it together for the Rangers. Fox, 13 points in 17 games. Kane, 6 goals, 12 points. Panarin, 11. Kako, 10. Trocheck. Tarasenko, only 3 goals. Down the list there we go, just looking if you're curious. And goaltending, Shesterkin ends 10-6-1 with 1 shutout, a 920 save percentage, and 2.52 goals against average. So here we now are in the 2023 Stanley Cup Final. Let's go ahead and simulate through these games slowly. Get your favorites in, whether it be in a comment or just in your head. Who do you think's taking it? Personally, I think the Bruins are going to take it, but it's going to come down to if Nathan MacKinnon can continue to be otherworldly. Here we go. First period of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. 1-1 after 20. Lars Eller and Connor Clifton. Shots 17-5 for the Bruins, and Brad Marchand makes it 2-1 after 40. Shots 28-13 for Boston. It's a 2-1 Bruins lead through 40 minutes. The Avalanche are right there, despite being outshot by crazy power play goal for David Pastrnak. 3-1 Bruins. Hold on, power play for the Avalanche now. McKinnon loves those power play goals, but the Bruins kill it off. Hold on, Lars Eller with his second of the evening, bringing the Avalanche back within 1. Power play Avalanche, killed off by the Bruins. Final 3 minutes, and Cale Makar will tie this game up with 2 minutes to go. Late heroics. Now we're headed to overtime. Big push late from the Avalanche. Shots are 40-26 for the Bruins through regulation, but we're off to overtime here in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Can the Avalanche fight back, or the Bruins assert themselves with all those shots and say, no, we are the victors of this game. We will get the momentum in our favor for the duration of this series. They're closing in on 50 shots. 5 minutes to go here in the first overtime period, and the Avalanche win it. JT Compher, shots and 49-35 for the Bruins, but the Avalanche come back and win game number 1 in overtime. Marchand goal and assist, Eller 2 goals, Georgiev makes 46 saves, and the Avalanche win game number 1. No points for McKinnon in that one as well. All right, so both teams, well, actually, the Avalanche were 12-5, and the Bruins were 12-4 headed into this series. The Avalanche now 13-5, the Bruins 12-5. Here we go. Game number 2, still at TD Garden in Boston. Can the Bruins fight back after that heartbreaker? First period, yes, they can. David Krejci and Matt Grzelcyk scoring early. 2 goals on 12 shots for the Bruins through 20. Second period, 2-1. Lars Eller, this man's on fire. 2-1 Bruins after 40. Shots 25-18 for Boston as well. Arturi Lehkonen tying this game at 2. The Avalanche have no quit. Power play Avalanche now as well, but it's Taylor Hall who scores just as that power play opportunity expires for the Avalanche. The Bruins now have the 3-2 lead. Halfway through the third period, shots tied at 27, tied at 28. Power play Bruins killed off by the Avalanche. Final 5 minutes. Do the Avalanche have late heroics in them once again? No, it's Patrice Bergeron who adds another even strength goal as well. 4-2 Bruins in the end. Shots end 33-32 for Boston, and it's a 1-1 series. Pastrnak had 3 assists. Allmark made 30 saves, and McAvoy had 2 assists as well. As this series is tied at 1, and we now have a best of 5. Let's do it. Game number 3 now in Colorado. Let's do it in game number 3. I'm repeating myself. It's 1 in the morning. Let's go. First period, 0-0 after 20. Shots 11-8 for the Bruins. Second period, high scoring? No, just 3 goals. Bertuzzi on the power play. Nichushkin ties it up. DeBrusk restores the lead, even strength. Shots 21-16 for the Bruins after 40. 1 goal lead for the Bruins, but we've been here before. The Avalanche know how to fight back when down by 1. Can they do it here in the third period in front of their home fans? Power play opportunity, and Nathan MacKinnon with his first goal, and I think his first point of the entire series here in Game 3 to tie it up at 2. There you go. Will we see overtime? Hold on. Late power play from the Bruins, killed off by the Avalanche. Final 2 minutes. Power play Avalanche late. And we're headed to overtime. Shots 31-25 for the Bruins. Next goal, for whoever scores the next goal, will put his team up 2-1 in this series. Overtime here. Last time it took late. Will we see late, or will it be an early end? 5 minutes in, nothing yet. Not as many shots as the last time, that's for sure. Power play Avalanche, and it's a power play goal from Mikko Rantanen, and the Avalanche win this one in overtime once again. 3-2 the final. Wow. 1 goal and 2 assists from McKinnon, a goal and 2 assists from Rantanen, 31 saves from Georgiev, and the Avalanche march back from down 2-0 to win 3-2. 2-1 series for the Avalanche now, and they would love to go up 3-1 in front of their home fans. It's Game 4 in Colorado. Let's do it. Exciting stuff. The Avalanche have been the comeback team in this series. First period, no scoring, shots 12-11 for the Bruins. Second period action now, 2-0 Avalanche as Newhook and Nichushkin score both at even strength within just about 2.5 minutes of each other. Shots are 23-21 for the Bruins through 40, but now it's the Avalanche who hold the lead headed into the third period. The Bruins need to come back fast if they're going to have if they want to make it into a best of 3. And there's Patrice Bergeron, the captain, getting in on it. But Darren Helm restores the 2-goal lead right after. 3-1 for the Avalanche through, 55 minutes? Final 5 minutes of this one. The Bruins need something late, but it's not coming. And Newhook will add another one at even strength, mind you. Even look at that. And then Rodriguez, an empty netter. Wow, wow, wow. Shots end 32-28, and the Avalanche win 5-1 the final. Newhook, 2 goals and an assist. Georgiev, 27 saves. He's been turning it on. And Matt Nieto with 2 assists. The Avalanche are now 1 game away, looking to close it out in Boston, mind you, and to win the Stanley Cup in 5 games and to have back-to-back titles. Can they do it? First period, 2-0 Avalanche. Rantanen and Lehkonen. Power play goals. Shots are 14-6 through 20. Who's taking penalties here for the Bruins? What's going on? High-sticking double minor and for Marchand, and then Carlo with a holding minor. Second period now, 3-2. Newhook makes it 3-0, but then Zacha and Pastrnak fight back. Here we go, third period. Shots are 23-20 for the Avalanche, and they are up by 1. The Bruins need to push in this final 20 minutes if they want to have life and compete. Power play opportunity, 5-on-3 for the Bruins. They cannot capitalize. Power play Avalanche now. That's kill off. Power play for Bruins once again. 5-on-3 again. Still nothing for the Bruins. Huge penalty kills from the Avalanche. Final 2 minutes in this one. Into the final minute, let's hop in and see the end. Here in Boston at TD Garden, 59 seconds to go here in the third period, and the Avalanche are up by 1. Let's see this final minute. Can the Bruins tie it up and send it to overtime, or will the Avalanche close it out here in Game 5? Here's Bergeron, Marchand in the corner now. It's Bergeron, empty net for the Bruins. Bergeron, Marchand, he's skating with it, gives it the point. It's McAvoy through traffic. Georgiev gets a piece of it. Makar's trying to clear it out. Rantanen up to McKinnon. Could McKinnon get the empty netter? How fitting. Lindholm doesn't want him, and McKinnon gets the empty netter. His 17th goal, and with just over 30 seconds to go, that will likely be enough for the Avalanche. Final 10 seconds, Devon Toews has an empty net. Marchand stops him up. Can they get anything going in the final seconds? It won't be enough time. And Makar gets it away. Your 2023. Oh, McKinnon gets another with 0.7 seconds left, adding insult to injury. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Stanley Cup champions are the Colorado Avalanche as they win back-to-back Stanley Cups with a huge 5-game victory over the 65-win Boston Bruins. How about that for a postseason, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of fun storylines and a great road for a lot of teams. Very interesting to see the Avalanche sweep the Oilers again in the Western Conference Final and then once again win the Stanley Cup, as the Bruins did so well. Glad to see no EHEs, no first-round exit for the Bruins. Some realistic stuff for the Leafs as well, I think. Conn Smythe, no-brainer, going to Nathan McKinnon. We'll see his real stats in the end, as he scored a couple goals here tonight. He receives the Conn Smythe from Big Bill Daly, and now we will call over. Actually, there's no captains come and get it with Landeskog out, so I wonder who they'll call, and it'll be Big Nate. Yeah, Nathan McKinnon over there to see Gary. Big handshake. It is my honor. Or actually, it is your honor. That's always what he says. Nathan McKinnon, it is your honor. There you go. Raises the Stanley Cup in Boston. And the Avalanche are 2023 Stanley Cup champs. And now there's the big picture. Gabe Landeskog would be somewhere in there. You see Rantanen, you see McKinnon. There's Georgiev in the front. Avalanche, even some players holding up the number 2 for their second Stanley Cup. I'm surprised the game even realizes that. Avalanche are 2023 champs. Now we'll see the fun little image here, the engravements on the cup. Stanley Cup champions. And there they are, right next to each other. And no Gabe Landeskog captain, it just has the names. and so many more names on the other side. Many less over here, but there they are, the 2022-23 Avalanche engraved on Lord Stanley. So there you have it. What a postseason it was. The Avalanche taking it in 5 games. Let's check out these final numbers. Nathan MacKinnon was just a monster. We'll check out the Bruins first. Let's go see the Bruins numbers. So through 21 games, Brad Marchand was also a monster in his own. 27 points, 6 goals, and 21 assists for him, a plus 16, even 22 penalty minutes as well. Patrice Bergeron, 24 points from the captain. Pasternak, point per game. McAvoy, 16. Hall, 15. DeBrusk, Krejci, Bertuzzi, those trade deadline pickups. Orlov, 6 points and a plus 7. Lots of great performances from the Bruins players. And Allmark was solid, 13, 6, and 2, 925 save percentage, and 2.2 goals against average. But the Avalanche were just too strong. Nathan MacKinnon, the Conn Smythe for him after Makar won it in 2022. In 2023, MacKinnon scores 18 goals, 19 assists, and 37 points in 22 games to capture the Conn Smythe. 10 power play goals as well. 24 points from Rantanen through 22 games. Makar with 23. Lehkonen 21. Chuskin 20 with 10 goals. Comfer 9 goals, 18 points. Rodriguez 15. Newhook 13. Byram 13. Lars Eller with 7 goals. Wow. Devontae, Nieto, Helm, Cogliano, another cup for him. Great totals from a lot of legends down here, and a lot of plus players. And Georgiev's numbers got much better. Still not crazy compared to some of the other goaltenders that we saw, but 16, 5, and 1 for Georgiev. 1 shutout, a 915 save percentage, and 2.7 goals against average through it all. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to enjoy this simulation. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with in the entire playoff tree? What are your own predictions? And be sure to stay tuned to the channel for my own breakdown and analysis of the upcoming 2023 NHL postseason. So be sure that you are subscribed for those videos, as well as more NHL 23 content, franchise mode, career simulation. So if you enjoyed this, I'm sure you'd enjoy much of what else goes on in the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed the simulation, and do consider also joining us over on the Discord server down in the description. We're a few hundred members there. It's a great community, and this entire channel and the community would be that much stronger with you as a part of it. So once again, thank you for taking the time to enjoy. Looking forward to an exciting 2023 postseason, and I will see you in the next one.